Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'll be your guide for this session. As a certified AI compliance officer, my job is to help amazing organizations just like yours figure out this complex world of artificial intelligence. Our goal today is pretty straightforward, but it's also absolutely critical. We're here to build a culture of compliance AI use, one that protects your mission, your data, and most importantly, the people you serve every single day. So, let's dive in.
First things first, I want you to burn this phrase into your memory. Protect the mission, protect the data, zero violations. This, right here, is our mantra. It's the guiding star for every single protocol we're going to build and every decision you'll make. And look, this isn't just about dodging fines. It's about operational safety. It's about ethical integrity. And it's about honoring the incredible trust your communities place in you.
All right, so here's our game plan for this session. We're going to start with your compliance toolkit, the arsenal, if you will. Then, we'll dive deep into patient rights and the big fairness laws. After that, we'll get really practical with the internal safeguards you need on the ground. And finally, we'll pull it all together so you're crystal clear on your crucial role in this whole process.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, your AI compliance arsenal. Look, before we can even begin to apply the rules of engagement, we have to understand the tools we're working with, right? This first part is all about getting you operationally ready for an AI-driven world.
The very foundation of everything we're doing is this 7 PDF survival kit. I want you to think of it as your core toolbox, and it's been designed specifically for organizations like yours in California's social impact sector. Our whole job today, really, is to bring this kit to life, to turn these abstract policies into concrete, everyday practices that will shield your organization from risk.
So now, let's move into Section 2. This is where we get into the two legal heavyweights that govern patient data here in California, the California Privacy Rights Act, or CPRA, and of course, HIPAA. Understanding how AI fits in with these laws, well, it's completely non-negotiable. Okay, now this is where the rubber really meets the road. Under CPRA, patients have an absolute right to say no to AI processing. And the moment they do, a 15-day clock starts ticking. So on day 0, the patient makes that request. Your immediate job for any frontline staff is to flag their file as AI restricted. Then you have just 15 days to make sure their data is blocked from all AI systems and totally deleted by any of your third-party vendors.
And let me be absolutely crystal clear about this. A patient does not need to fill out some complicated form or send a formal email. A simple verbal request to any staff member is a binding legal command. The second they say, "Don't use my data for AI," that 15-day clock is officially running. This is a critical workflow that every single person on your team has to know cold.
So that brings us to our next big idea, the HIPAA firewall. I want you to picture it like a sanitization checkpoint. Raw patient data, we're talking names, birth dates, medical conditions, can never ever flow directly into an AI system. It has to pass through this firewall first, and that firewall has 2 locks on it. First, you need a signed business associate agreement, or a BAA, with the vendor. And second, the data must be strictly de-identified. Only after both of those things happen can it safely move forward.
And what happens if someone ignores that firewall? Let's be very direct about the consequences. The potential fine for just copying and pasting raw protected health information, PHI, into an unapproved public AI tool is $7,500, and that's per instance. The financial hit is massive, for sure, but the damage to your reputation and the trust you've built in your community, that could be impossible to repair.
Okay, so we've covered data privacy. Now let's shift gears into the ethical side of AI with Section 3. Here, we're going to focus on making sure our automated systems are fair and equitable, which is exactly what California's Assembly Bill 2013 requires.
AB 2013 exists for a very simple reason. AI learns from data that we humans create, and because of that, it can accidentally learn and even amplify our own biases. So this law demands transparency and fairness in any automated system that makes decisions about patient care. Its whole purpose is to protect vulnerable people from algorithms that might otherwise discriminate against them.
This here is a perfect picture of what we're trying to prevent. It's called demographic skew. Just imagine an AI tool that's supposed to help allocate community health resources. But what if, because of biased data it was trained on, it consistently skips over people in certain zip codes? That's algorithmic bias in action. And that is exactly what AB 2013 empowers you and requires you to find and to fix.
So I want you to just take a moment and think about this. In your own organization, with the specific community you serve, what are the real-world consequences here? What kind of risks could pop up for your patients or your clients if a hidden bias like this were just left to run wild in an AI tool? This is precisely why human oversight is so critical.
This brings us to the really practical, on-the-ground stuff. The procedures your organization absolutely has to have in place. This section is all about the internal safeguards that let you manage these AI systems safely, how to verify consent, when to hit the kill switch, and what to do when things go wrong.
All right, let's walk through this decision-making flow. Think of it as a pre-flight checklist. Before any interaction, you have to ask two simple questions. First, is an AI system actively involved right now? If the answer is yes, you go to question 2. Do we have active, documented consent from this person? If the answer is yes again, you can proceed. But if the answer to either of those questions is no, it is a hard stop. You immediately revert to manual processing. It's a non-negotiable safety protocol.
Now, what about an emergency? These are the 3 main reasons to activate your AI kill switch. Number 1, you suspect a data breach. Number 2, you discover an undocumented or shadow AI tool running on your network. Or number 3, you get a large-scale revocation of consent from your patients. And this is so important. This is an empowerment protocol. Any staff member who even suspects one of these things has the authority and the duty to request a shutdown. When in doubt, you escalate.
And when an incident does happen, this is the timeline you must follow. In the first 2 hours, the frontline team's job is to contain and isolate the problem. Within 24 hours, the AI compliance officer has to investigate and, if needed, pull that kill switch. And then, within 1 to 3 days, your board and any vendors involved have to be notified. Every single level has a clear job and a strict deadline. And that brings us to our final section, where we're going to pull everything we've talked about together. This is all about your personal responsibility. You are the final check. You're the human in the loop who makes sure these powerful systems are used safely and ethically every single day.
I want you to think of this matrix as your daily cheat sheet. It connects common, everyday actions to their biggest compliance risks and tells you exactly what to do. For instance, you are summarizing session notes. The risk is a HIPAA violation, so the protocol is de-identify the data and double-check that BAA. Using an automated triage tool, the risk is that AB 2013 bias, so the protocol is demand a human-in-the-loop review. This makes compliance real and actionable, not just some abstract idea.
As we wrap up, you're going to complete an attestation. But please, don't see this as a test. See it as a professional commitment. You are personally attesting that you understand the risks, that you are committing to that zero violation standard, and that you know exactly how and when to use the emergency protocols we've covered today.
This training, all this work, it puts you on a direct path to something really tangible, becoming a certified AI operations specialist. And this is not just a piece of paper. It's a real credential that recognizes your expertise. It tells your colleagues, your board, and your community that you are the person who knows how to handle these powerful technologies with the highest level of care and integrity.
Everything you've done today builds the foundation for your organization's next steps in its AI journey. What comes next? Well, building out a detailed incident crisis playbook, and eventually appointing a certified AI compliance officer to oversee the whole program. You are now a vital part in making that happen. And so, we end right where we began, with our core principle. This is the standard. In every task you do, with every tool you use, please remember your fundamental responsibility. Thank you so much for your attention and for your commitment to building a culture of safe, ethical, and compliant AI.